We had a sister mine that closed, and the market for some of these larger drag lines aren't there, you know. So across the country, we've seen in the past where some of the drag lines have actually been imploded and boom, dropped to the ground. We were all excited to go over there and see the little explosion and the drag line fall, but that ride home from there wasn't anything like the ride over there. It was depressing, and that's not something we want to see here at our mine site. We want to do everything we can because we've taken really good care of everything. So we'd like to keep that going, see the machine move to another location, and them take advantage of what we put into it.
In 2007, they started telling us we were going to get another machine. They ended up buying this one. We was over there for about a month as it was getting built. When we come up off the pad, tons of people up here checking all the electronics and stuff, and I was on day shift. I was actually oiling at the time. And as we were trying to get the machine tuned and all that electrically. So I got to step up and just right place, right time. I got to take the first bucket.
We try to run 3 people on each drag line. You have your operator, and then you got the groundman, and then you have your oiler. And your oiler is the guy that, the name really don't fit because he's not just an oiler, he's pretty much a glorified janitor because he has to keep things clean in the back of the cab.
So the care is across the mine for the drag lines, and every piece of equipment that we've got on the mine site goes all the way from the mine manager all the way down to the guys cleaning. It's everything out on the mine site's appreciated, and the drag lines are extensively cared about and maintained. You walk the drag line, you could eat off some of the floors at times. It's clean. Some of the oilers and operators that got involved in maintaining and knowing what's needed to keep the machine running without any failures, and nobody wanted to see the machine parked, so we all jumped on board when there was an issue and tried to get it fixed.
If you've got to work on it, it'll make you take a little bit more pride in taking care of it when you're operating it.
We've got multiple employees that always added extra detail, went the extra mile to make things a little better, make things appreciated, and people noticed that, so it drove other employees to help out and kind of get on board with taking care of things.
Because first impressions are made by what you see. That's my opinion. Miners don't go home. They don't go home at 5 o'clock. If there's something going on, you're going to stay here. If there's something going on out here, I'm not going to go home. I will be here. If I got to find a part, get a part, source a part, whatever it takes to get a piece of critical equipment, back up and running so we can keep on going to make sure we were getting that coal over to the power plant. That's what we're going to do. So people drive in down this service road over to this mine site, and they see a nice, pretty building with nice landscaping outside. They come to the warehouse, they walk through that door, it looks clean. They can look over at these wheel call shelves, and they look clean. I just made a new impression about a coal mine. Or people drive out in the field and they see how things are taken care of, how the drag lines are taken care of. We've had our inspectors brag about our drag lines. I've had an inspector brag about the warehouse. They actually take that information of what they physically see, and they can take it to another operation that they inspect, and they can say, okay, a drag line can be clean. I've seen it done.
I think we can be very proud of what we've done, in the time that we've been mining coal. A lot of this land, wasn't that good a shape to begin with, and everything that we've returned back has been better than we got it.
I plan on staying on this thing my whole career. This is a great machine. Whoever gets it would be very lucky to have it. Very dependable for us. It did what we needed it to do. If I didn't have a big old family here, I'd try to just sit in the cab and just go with it.
I was asked by our mine president to find some different auctioneering companies out there. If you have more auctioneers, I called a number that was on the website, And they actually put me through to Chris. They gave me his number and I called him. Told him who we were, you know, what our situation was, and asked if we could get him down here for some kind of a meeting. And he's like, absolutely. And when I told him, you know, that our mine president was going to be in the meeting, he called me back and says, the company president will be in that meeting as well, which was Jeff Martin.
Jeff Martin flew out, came and seen us. That meant a lot. You know, we're pretty close-knit family here.
It was a consensus amongst everybody that we felt like that Jeff Martin's group was a lot more personable, and
as the owner of a company to show up like that. I think that Chris and Jeff Martin were going to be able to offer more personal attention. I'd have to think that they're going to be able to sell that equipment for us without a shadow of a doubt.